Do they truly value you? A Stoic perspective on disrespect, ghosting, and betrayal. Have you ever poured your heart into a relationship, whether with a friend, a partner, or even a colleague, only to feel like you were invisible? You give them kindness, respect, and loyalty, yet they treat you as if you don't matter. Maybe they dismiss your opinions, disappear without a word, or are nowhere to be found when you need them most. It's a gut-wrenching feeling, isn't it? The kind that makes you question your worth, replay every interaction in your head, and wonder, was it me? Did I do something wrong? But here's the truth, their actions are a reflection of them, not you. This is where Stoicism becomes your guiding light. The world teaches us that our value is based on how others treat us, but Stoicism flips that idea on its head. It reminds us that your worth is not something others can give or take away. It is yours to define. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." People will disrespect you, they will ghost you, they will abandon you in your hardest moments. But you have a choice. Will you let their actions shake your self-worth, or will you stand firm like an unmovable rock in the storm? In this video, we'll explore 4 shocking signs that someone doesn't truly value you, not to make you bitter, but to make you stronger. These signs are not just warnings, they are opportunities. They are tests that challenge you to rise above the behavior of others, to detach from the need for external validation, and to cultivate the unshakable confidence that comes from within. Because at the end of the day, you have power over one thing: yourself. So are you ready to shift your perspective and reclaim your inner strength? If so, comment "I'm ready" below. Let's embark on this Stoic journey together. And if this message resonates with you, hit that subscribe button, because wisdom, once found, is meant to be shared. 1. Disrespect, the ultimate test of your inner strength. Disrespect. It's such a simple word, yet it carries the power to cut deep, leaving scars on your self-esteem. It's that subtle smirk when you speak, the constant interruptions during a conversation, the way someone rolls their eyes when you express your thoughts. And then there are the more blatant forms: insults, dismissive attitudes, or being ignored like you don't even exist. Have you ever wondered why even the smallest acts of disrespect can feel so personal, so painful? When someone disrespects you, what they are really saying is, "You are not important to me. Your thoughts, your feelings, your presence, they don't hold value in my eyes." And that realization stings, because as humans, we crave recognition, respect, and acknowledgement. We want to feel seen. We want to feel heard. But here's where Stoic wisdom steps in to change the way you see this entirely. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the core of Stoic resilience. Disrespect itself has no power over you until you let it. The moment you allow it to hurt you, to shake your self-worth, to make you doubt yourself, you have given power to the one who disrespects you. But what if, instead of reacting with anger or self-doubt, you took a different approach? Imagine a scenario. You have a friend you always treat with kindness and sincerity. Yet in conversations, they constantly interrupt you. They never ask about your life. They disregard your opinions as if they hold no weight. You feel the frustration build inside you. You wonder, why do they treat me this way? Do they not respect me? Do I not matter to them? Pause. Take a breath. Now, ask yourself a different question, one rooted in Stoicism. Do I need this person's recognition to feel valuable? The Stoic answer is simple: no. Your worth is not up for debate. It is not determined by the opinions or actions of others. It is something you carry within you. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic minds, wrote in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That means the disrespect of others is their problem, not yours. It is a reflection of their character, their lack of understanding, their own internal struggles. When someone fails to recognize your worth, they are not exposing a flaw in you. They are exposing a flaw in themselves. Look at history's greatest figures, leaders, thinkers, and revolutionaries. They were often disrespected, mocked, even persecuted. But what made them great was not their ability to demand respect, but their ability to remain unshaken by the lack of it. Jesus Christ, for example, faced immense disrespect. He was ridiculed, betrayed, and ultimately crucified. And yet he did not allow that disrespect to poison his soul. Instead, he responded with strength and grace, saying, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." That is true power, not reacting, but choosing how to respond. This is where you reclaim your strength. You do not need to fight for respect. You need to embody it. When you carry yourself with dignity, when you remain unfazed by the disrespect of others, you send a silent but powerful message. Your words and actions do not define me. I define me. Seneca, another great Stoic thinker, wrote, "No man is good by chance. Virtue must be learned." Those who disrespect you may not yet have learned how to treat others with kindness and humility. But that is not your burden to bear. Your responsibility is not to change them. It is to train your own mind, to master your own reactions, and to refuse to let disrespect rob you of your inner peace. Think of yourself as a rock in the ocean. Waves crash against you, sometimes gently, sometimes violently. The tide rises and falls, storms come and go, but you, the rock, remain steadfast. Disrespect is just another wave. It may break around you, but it will never move you unless you allow it to. So the next time someone disrespects you, don't waste energy asking, "Why are they treating me this way?" Instead, ask yourself, "Why should I let this affect me?" And then, in true Stoic fashion, simply move forward, unshaken, untouched, and unwavering in your self-worth. 2. Ghosting, a Stoic lesson in detachment and self-worth. Ghosting. It's a modern phenomenon, yet its pain is as ancient as time. One day, someone is part of your life. They share their thoughts, laughter, and dreams with you. Then, without warning, they disappear. No explanation, no closure, just silence. And that silence is deafening. If you've ever been ghosted, you know how the mind spirals. What did I do wrong? Did I say something? Was I not good enough? You scan every interaction, searching for clues, but find none. The more you search for answers, the further they seem to slip away. It feels personal, deeply personal. But here's the truth, it's not about you, it's about them. Stoicism teaches a simple yet powerful truth. We cannot control the actions of others, only our response to them. If someone chooses to vanish from your life without explanation, that is their choice, not a statement of your worth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Ghosting feels painful, not because someone left, but because of the meaning we attach to their absence. We assume it reflects our inadequacy, that we weren't enough to deserve an explanation. But what if we change the narrative? What if ghosting isn't rejection, but redirection? Imagine your life as a garden. The people in your life are like plants. Some bloom, bringing beauty and joy, while others wither, unable to thrive in your soil. Ghosting is simply nature pruning your garden for you. Those who vanish were never meant to stay. A person who ghosts you is saying, "I do not have the emotional capacity to communicate honestly. I lack the maturity to handle discomfort with respect. I prefer avoidance over accountability." Why would you mourn the loss of someone with these qualities? If they are capable of leaving so easily, then they were never truly present to begin with. You are not losing them, you are losing an illusion. Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, reminds us, when someone acts badly toward you, remember that he does so because he thinks it is right or appropriate. It is not up to you to convince him otherwise, but only to ensure that your own response is virtuous. So, what is the virtuous response to ghosting? Acceptance, release, moving forward without bitterness. Consider Sarah, a woman who thought she had found someone special. He made her feel seen, valued, until one day he disappeared. No calls, no texts, nothing. At first she was devastated. She blamed herself, replayed every conversation, searching for answers. But then she realized his disappearance was not a reflection of her worth, but of his character. She had been kind, loyal, and present. He had chosen avoidance. That was his burden to carry, not hers. From that moment on, Sarah stopped chasing closure. She stopped waiting for an apology that would never come. Instead, she redirected her energy toward people who valued her presence. Ghosting no longer became a source of pain, but a filter, a way to naturally remove those unworthy of her time. Faith and the power of trusting the bigger picture. Even Jesus, in his darkest moments, experienced abandonment. Peter, his closest disciple, denied him 3 times. Others who had once walked with him disappeared when times got hard. But did Jesus let that define his mission? No, he moved forward with grace. He did not chase after those who left. He stayed true to himself. When someone ghosts you, instead of seeing it as a loss, see it as divine intervention. Sometimes God removes people not to hurt you, but to protect you, to clear the path for something better. Ghosting in the digital age, the illusion of connection. Social media and instant communication have made disappearing easier than ever. A person can block you, unfollow you, erase your presence from their life in seconds. But do they really disappear? No. Their absence lingers in your mind because your brain craves closure. It wants a clean ending, an answer. But closure is a luxury they have chosen to deny you. So what do? You create your own closure. Instead of asking, why did they leave? Ask, why should I care about someone who lacks basic respect? Instead of mourning the silence, embrace it as freedom. Instead of clinging to the past, step forward into a future free of those who take you for granted. If someone ghosts you, let them. Do not chase. Do not seek answers. Do not diminish yourself trying to make sense of their actions. A person who truly values you will not disappear without a word. A person who respects you will not leave you with questions. A person who belongs in your life will not vanish like smoke in the wind. Their departure is not a loss. It is a revelation. They have shown you who they are, and now you are free to walk forward without the weight of their presence. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." You do not have to suffer over someone who chose to leave. Their exit is not an ending, it is an opening. So the next time someone ghosts you, do not chase. Do not beg for an explanation. Do not lower your worth to fit into the absence they created. Instead, stand firm. Move forward. Because at the end of the day, your worth is not determined by who stays or who leaves. Your worth is determined by you. And when you truly understand this, ghosting will no longer feel like abandonment. It will feel like liberation. My dear friend, we are now halfway through this video. You're still here, right? If you are, it tells me something. This message is resonating with you. Something in these words is speaking to your heart. And if that's the case, then I have a small favor to ask. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and leave a comment. Now, I know this might sound like a typical YouTuber request, but hear me out. I want to share something personal with you. I've looked at the statistics, and right now, only 10% of viewers are actually subscribed. And that makes me think, why? Is it because the content isn't good enough? Am I not reaching you the way I hope to? Or maybe it's simply because you haven't interacted with the channel enough for it to show up in your feed regularly. Truthfully, I've been putting my heart and soul into this. I committed to making 2 videos a day because I believe in sharing Stoic wisdom in a way that's not just theory, but real, practical, and applicable to our lives. But I also know that this channel is still small, still growing, and growth happens because of you, because of your likes, your comments, your encouragement. To be honest, I'm feeling emotional about this right now. I'm incredibly grateful for the 700 of you who have already subscribed. That means everything to me. But I have a goal, to reach 1,000 subscribers. And I believe with your support, we can get there. So, if you found value in what I'm sharing, if you want to see this channel grow, please take a second to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. It truly makes a difference. Thank you so much for being here. Now, let's move on to sign number 3. 3. The need to be the center of attention. A trap of the ego. Have you ever met someone who constantly craves attention? They dominate conversations, steer every topic back to themselves, and seem restless unless they're in the spotlight. They need admiration, validation, and a steady flow of external approval just to feel okay. But here's the irony. The more they chase attention, the emptier they seem inside. This desperate need to be the center of attention is not a sign of confidence. It's a symptom of insecurity. It reveals a mind that is unsteady, restless, and dependent on the opinions of others. And in the world of Stoicism, this is the exact opposite of strength. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This means that true contentment does not come from admiration or applause. It comes from a peaceful mind, a disciplined soul, and a life rooted in virtue. Yet, modern society glorifies attention. Social media platforms are designed to reward those who seek the spotlight. Likes, shares, comments, and followers become a currency for self-worth. But let's be honest, are those who constantly seek attention truly happy, or are they just filling a void that never seems to go away? The Stoics understood this trap. They taught that chasing external validation is like drinking salt water to quench your thirst. The more you consume, the thirstier you become. No amount of applause will ever be enough because the craving is endless. The only real solution? Stop seeking it. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in history, had everything: status, power, and recognition. And yet, he reminded himself daily of one truth: none of it mattered. Fame, if it comes, let it come, but never seek it. Why did he say this? Because he understood that attention is fleeting. The same crowd that cheers for you today will move on to someone else tomorrow. The approval of others is unstable, unreliable, and constantly shifting. If your self-worth is built on how much attention you receive, then your happiness will always be at the mercy of others. Look at the lives of celebrities and social media influencers. Many of them have millions of followers, yet they struggle with loneliness, anxiety, and depression. They are adored by strangers, but when the cameras turn off, they feel empty. Because deep down, external validation is never enough. Compare this with the life of Jesus Christ. He never sought attention. He did not demand admiration. Instead, he lived with humility, purpose, and love. Whoever wants to be great among you must be your servant. Matthew 20:26. He understood that true worth is not found in standing above others, but in serving them. This is what the Stoics taught as well. Real strength is quiet, steady, and unshaken by praise or criticism. Ask yourself, do I crave attention because I enjoy it, or because I feel incomplete without it? If you are honest, you may find that the real reason people seek validation is because they have not yet learned to validate themselves. A person who is truly at peace does not need attention to feel worthy. They do not need applause to feel successful. They do not need recognition to feel valuable. As Epictetus said, know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. When you know your worth, when you are anchored in your own values, the attention of others becomes irrelevant. You do not chase it, and you do not fear its absence. Consider Michael, a man who built his life around seeking approval. He crafted the perfect image, dressing to impress, always saying the right things, always making sure he was liked. And for a while, it worked. He was admired, respected, even envied. But then, one day, the admiration faded. People moved on. The spotlight shifted to someone else. And Michael, he felt lost. Without attention, he felt invisible. Without admiration, he felt worthless. And that's when he realized his self-worth had never been real. It had always been borrowed from the approval of others. Michael decided to change. He stepped away from seeking validation and started focusing on something deeper, building a sense of worth that was unshakable. He learned that being true to himself, even if no one was watching, was far more fulfilling than being admired for a carefully constructed persona. And that's when he found real peace. The next time you feel the urge to prove yourself, to seek attention, to crave validation, pause. Ask yourself, will this attention make me a better person? Does admiration from others actually add value to my life? Would I still do this if no one was watching? If your actions are driven by a need to be seen, reconsider them. True confidence does not demand recognition. True strength does not need applause. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Live simply, without showmanship, without needing to draw others' attention." This is the Stoic way. Do good, live with integrity, be kind, seek wisdom, not because others are watching, but because it is the right thing to do. Final thought, your value exists even when no one is watching. At the end of your life, when you look back, what will matter? The number of people who admired you, or the quality of the life you lived, the depth of your character, and the peace you cultivated within. Attention fades, fame disappears, but a life lived with wisdom, virtue, and inner peace is eternal. So the next time you catch yourself craving attention, remember this: you do not need to be seen to be valuable. You do not need applause to be enough. You are already enough. For their absence in times of need, a lesson in strength and self-reliance. There are few things more disheartening than reaching out for support in your darkest moments. only to be met with silence. You've been there for them. You've listened to their struggles, stood by them when they needed help, and offered them your time, your energy, your kindness. And yet when life turns against you, when you are the one in pain, they are nowhere to be found. At first, you make excuses for them. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they didn't see my message. Maybe they don't know what to say. But deep down, you know the truth. If they truly valued you, they would be here. This realization stings. It makes you question your worth, your relationships, and whether you ever truly mattered to them in the first place. But before you allow this disappointment to break you, let's step into the mindset of a Stoic. Because this is not just a loss, it is a lesson. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is self-reliance. The Stoics understood that while friendships and relationships can bring joy, true stability must come from within. Epictetus famously said, "If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This is a reminder that not everyone will understand your struggles. Not everyone will be there when you need them. And that's okay, because you do not need them in order to be strong. When people abandon you in your time of need, it is easy to feel betrayed. But what if their absence is not a betrayal but a revelation? What if it is the universe showing you that you are stronger than you think, that you have always been enough on your own? Even Jesus, in his final hours, experienced abandonment. His closest disciples, the ones who had sworn loyalty to him, fled when he needed them most. Peter, who had promised to stand by his side, denied even knowing him, not once, but 3 times. And yet Jesus did not allow this betrayal to define him. He did not let the absence of others shake his purpose. Instead, he accepted it with grace, understanding that his mission was his alone to carry. And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age. Matthew 28:20. If even Jesus faced abandonment, why should we expect otherwise? If he found strength in solitude, why can't we? Imagine David, a man who always showed up for others. He was the friend who answered calls at 2 a.m., the one who lent money without hesitation, the one who dropped everything to help when someone was in crisis. But when he faced his own struggles, when he lost his job, when his relationship fell apart, when he felt lost, he looked around and realized something heartbreaking. No one was there. The people he had supported were silent. His messages were ignored. The same friends who once leaned on him now seemed too busy to care. At first, this crushed him. He felt betrayed, used, discarded. But then he had a realization. He had been looking for strength in the wrong place. His worth was never in how much he gave to others. His strength was never in their presence. His strength was in himself, in his ability to rise, to endure, to continue, even when no one was watching. And that is when he changed. He stopped seeking validation through his sacrifices. He stopped expecting others to do for him what he had done for them. Instead, he turned inward. He found peace in self-reliance. And the irony, the moment he stopped needing others, the right people naturally entered his life. People who did not just take, but gave in return. So what do you do when the people you counted on disappear in your time of need? Accept reality, not the illusion. If someone is absent when you need them, they are showing you who they are. Believe them. Detach from expectations. Expecting others to always be there only leads to disappointment. Instead, expect yourself to be your own foundation. Find strength in solitude. The strongest people are those who do not crumble when left alone. They are the ones who stand tall, even in the absence of support. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This means that no matter who stays or who leaves, your mind remains yours to control. No one can take away your resilience unless you hand it to them. If you are reading this and thinking of someone who abandoned you, ask yourself, were they truly the person I thought they were? Do I really need their presence to move forward? What if their absence is the best thing that could have happened to me? It is painful to realize that some people only stay in your life when it is convenient for them. But it is liberating to realize that their absence does not weaken you. It frees you. Because at the end of the day, you do not need anyone to complete you. You are already whole, you are already strong. And the moment you embrace this truth, you will no longer fear who stays or who leaves. You will walk forward with unwavering strength, knowing that your foundation is built on something unbreakable, yourself. So, there we have it. 4 signs that someone does not truly value you. Disrespect, ghosting, the constant need for attention, and absence in your time of need. At first, these experiences may feel like betrayals. They may shake your confidence, make you question your worth, and leave you wondering why people treat you this way. But now, with a Stoic mindset, you see the truth. Their actions do not define you. Your response does. If someone disrespects you, do not give them the power to hurt you. Your value does not decrease just because they fail to see it. If someone ghosts you, let them go. Their disappearance is not a loss, but a natural cleansing of your life. If someone constantly craves attention, do not waste your energy feeding their ego. Instead, focus on building your own inner peace. If someone is absent in your time of need, take it as a lesson. True strength comes from within, not from reliance on others. At the end of the day, your worth is unshakable. Your value is not up for negotiation, and your peace is something only you control. Now, it's your turn. Have you ever experienced any of these signs? How did you handle them? And more importantly, how has Stoicism helped you change your perspective? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. I'd love to hear your story. And if this message resonated with you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Let's continue this journey together, learning, growing, and building the kind of strength that no one can take away from us. Because at the end of the day, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength.